Good morning, everyone. This is Eric Stewart with Soul Luna Yoga. And this morning, I am going to talk about problem solving for longer durations of time spent looking at a screen. And what I mean specifically with this is times when you find you have to, for some reason, be looking at a screen for a while. And there are two reasons for bringing this up. One is a couple months ago, I was traveling and I was talking with someone. And when I told them that I owned a yoga studio, they said it must be great to be doing yoga all the time. And I explained to them a little bit that owning a yoga studio is a lot more than just doing yoga. And this is something that I run into. There's somehow an idea that yoga teachers have this idyllic life, and sometimes I run into this thing where students think my life must be perfect or something, and it's not. I run into the same sorts of hurdles and obstacles and problems as anyone else. And in running this business, one of the things that's really challenging is the time that I necessarily have to spend looking at a screen. And so the second reason has to do with that. The second reason is that doing these videos, and I'm running this course on pain right now, I'm spending a lot of time editing videos, and meaning I am spending a lot of time looking at a screen and doing things on the keyboard. And because this is a different thing, so otherwise there's bookkeeping, there's other reasons to have to be working at a computer, but this is a new addition to the screen time that I have to spend. And so I have really noticed the effects of it. And one of the things that I think is useful here is just breaking down what those effects are, because there can be a more general feeling of this is not fun, my body feels not good, but what specifically are the major things that happen? So one is the eyes. Because our eyes are fixed on this bright, shiny object for long periods of time, we don't blink as much. And it's more than the eyes, it's our head and neck muscles. They get tight. We're not necessarily set up to be looking at a thing in the way we look at a computer screen for long periods of time, or a phone screen. And there's a relationship between the eyes and the neck muscles that when we do that, everything gets locked. Also for the eyes, it's not great because the eyes don't blink as much, and then the tears are not lubricating the eyes, and we can get dry eyes, and the glands that secrete lubricant, the oils in there start to harden up. Not a great thing. So that's one thing. The other thing is whether we are sitting in a chair or standing, the body also gets locked up. And it's really in some ways following the cue of the head and neck muscles and the eyes. And so I mentioned the head and the neck, so that's one area. The feet and the legs are another. So whether we are sitting down or standing up, blood will tend to pool in the lower legs, and we don't get venous return and lymph return in quite the same beneficial way. So that's an issue. And then depending on how we are sitting or how we are standing, I'll just as an aside mention standing desks. So I am standing here at this lovely audio visual cart that is fire engine red, that is great. And standing does have some benefits over sitting, but many of the same problems that we get into in sitting, we can still run into those in standing. So we all have our patterns of how we bear weight on one side or the other, how we might be rotated in certain ways that gets us stuck. And the whole body in this respect is following the cue of the eyes and the head. And you will know, you will have your particular pet areas that will start to talk to you when you're at a computer or at a phone. The two are a little different, With a phone, it's going to be more, those neck muscles are going to really start to overwork. So the mechanics of both of those are a little different, but the basic theme is we get stuck in a place, and the body tends not to like that when we're doing that for a period of time, especially when the eyes are not moving. So what can we do about this? Again, because I have been doing this new thing and there's this new addition of time to my screen time with the video editing, I've been really conscious of it. And so I've been problem solving it. And one thing that you'll hear people say, and there are plenty of articles on things you can do to deal with this. So one really common thing is like set a timer for 20 minutes, and then when that timer goes off, get up and walk around and look away from the screen for certain amounts of time. That's great, but especially when there's a concerted task to be doing, I have found for myself, and I think many people find, it's very difficult to break off and do that other thing of walking around. But I have found some ways to work with that. And these are things that have multiple benefits. So I am going to slide back here and show you what I have under my standing audio-visual cart. I'm going to have to take them way back. So I have a blanket and 2 dryer balls and another little spiky ball, and I'll often have some cork balls. I have these underneath my feet. So one of the things with the feet and the legs, it's an odd situation because there will be swelling that happens, the blood pools, there will be edema in the interstitial tissues, but then at the same time, partly because of that, those tissues are not getting good circulation, so things stagnate. Because of the swelling and because we're still and the tissue tightens up, blood flow can't get in, and then also we're not getting the stuff that needs to get out going back up. So with the feet and the legs, something that's really key is keeping that moving. And this is something that I've found, having different sizes, different textures, that I'm constantly working my feet over. It's something that allows for better circulation. If you're on an airplane, people say, get up and move, or keep your feet moving, or wear compression socks. Compression socks can be another useful resource for this issue, but simply giving yourself a stimulus to move is one of the best things that I have found in dealing with this. And these things, different sorts of balls, if they're right there under my feet, they are a reminder for me to avail myself of that. And then the other thing that I've found with that is that if that is in place, I am much more likely to do other movement. If I'm stuck, if my feet are just on the floor, there's this kind of tight, it feels like this grit is in the tissues and things lock down. And the odd thing about that is I think that feeling often just perpetuates the further feeling and perpetuates the stuckness and just staying there. So having a reminder to keep things moving. So I'm right now working this ball over my foot and then weight shifting to the other side. I find I have much more frequency of moving around and doing other things. So then taking breaks and having other options and doing yoga poses or doing different things is more a credible option to engage with. So this comes into play with the head and the eyes as well. I would say that spending more frequent time away than 20 minutes is a better thing and really a more viable thing. But again, we need something to precipitate the doing of that, which is where the balls come in and the different textures come in. So that's really the foundation of what I'm suggesting for problem solving this. That can lead to other things. So getting your eyes away from the screen often, just walking away, walking around, can make a huge difference. And the eyes getting different references will really blunt the negative effects of being on a screen. So those are the main things. Have time to move away and give yourself something really to remind yourself to do that. That will allow your whole system to get a different perceptual field, your eyes to take in different things, your eyes to blink, and it'll make the experience a lot better. So this is not just about looking at a screen. This is a little window into how to problem solve for lots of different things, how to use yoga and movement and practice generally to be a help for the things in life that might be challenging. That's the talk for today. Thank you.